Hi, I'm Al, your fellow art gym goer. Today I want to talk about line hierarchy, the importance of it, and how you can improve your line drawing with the great exercise I prepared especially for you. Are you starting out drawing? Or you've been drawing for a while but have some issues with your sketching and want to bring a professional touch to it? Check out this video and I'm sure you will find some tips useful and put them to good practice. So, if you have been practicing some of those exercises I provided in the other video, if you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. Link is in the description. But if you have, then you might have came to a point where you got your line more confident and your hand is doing what you want to do, which is draw, and now you want to add some depth in your sketches. Because I'm sure you're sketching, not just drawing lines and boxes and ellipses all day. So let's talk about hierarchy of lines. We have an amazing way to bring depth to our sketch with general line and contour. We have these two objects, and one is made with just one size brush, and it's a flat line drawing. Other has some detail, with general line being the contour and additional lines showing us some detail, and our brain interprets them correctly, and it feels better as well. It reads well, and our goal is to learn to manipulate those because it's very important for any illustrator and many styles in drawing to use hierarchy of line in your work. If we take a look at the following objects, we can try to add some depth to those. If we add some details to it, it becomes a little bit hard for our brain to read it, especially if it isn't something familiar to us. If it is a familiar object, we can easily interpret what details it has. But if it's something out of a fantasy or sci-fi, which we never see in real life, it's important that we make sure it reads well. If we add additional lines to it, we have some depth straight away. But some objects just start to sink all together, and here comes the general line or contour to help us out. Now it separates the main silhouette of the object, and if it's put into a composition, it reads quite well. Use those examples to try and practice your hierarchy of lines, and you will start understanding how it works. Let's draw a quick sketch of, for example, a cave. Just your normal cave you go to kill your goblins to, and so on. So I've started with some general forms, just letting my mind take me to that cave. And those sketches usually don't take more than 30-40 seconds, while you are looking for the composition and shapes. When I was happy with the composition, or let's say I was happy, I'm never happy with my drawings, then I started defining those lines and getting those imperfections in for later filling it with cracks and information. I draw some hanging rocks maybe, and I add some of the plants growing through the entrance, showing that it's nice and happy outside the cave. Some of those walls end and the cave becomes a lake cave maybe. Some trees outside far away and some land there. Sun is about to set. And now I can have a look at it, and cause I drew it, I know what is there. But if I hide the layer for a sec for you and turn it on again, you might say, I don't get it, or your eyes are gonna bleed. So here we start defining our general line, our contour, and filling in some imperfections, adding information respecting hierarchy. Things that are further or smaller like details on walls, little scratches. We draw them with thin lines. Stuff like what defines a shape will be thick lines. Usually it's best to keep your depth in a range of 3 or 4 distance layers. That's what professionals do. So like those trees outside of the cave are drawn with thinner line, and we can add some atmospheric perspective or aerial perspective which will give more depth. Do it just with Ctrl+Shift+J to bring to another layer and scale the opacity down a bit. And we can go ahead and add some more detail and bits. And it's starting to have some credibility to it. And now if you show it to someone, it will be readable and they can say, yeah, it's some kind of a cave or something. And that's good enough for me. I prepared a really great exercise for you guys who needs more than just an object. And here it is. Basically, it's all drawn in one size brush. And you can start playing with it and trying to define some lines. Start by separating distance layers with aerial perspective. Again, Ctrl+Shift+J plus opacity and make some depth to it already. Then you can go ahead and work your objects, big to small. Larger objects and forms first, and then smaller details. Here we can consider light coming from the top, so lines at the bottom will be thicker and at the top the thinnest. And just like that you work your way to that depth you need. And hey, let's try and do those exercises. Download the template of this in description. Share what you came up with in a group that was created for us fellow art gym goers. Link is also in description. There we can chat and share our results for the exercises and working our way to perfection. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Then hit thumbs up and bell icon. Subscribe. Do your exercises, do your dailies, and let's get those art muscles pumped up. Let's do it.